Welcome back, everybody, to another dicondissectional production hosted by Deathstroke9. Now, I have heard this song before. I've never seen the video, but I've heard this song before. I first heard it a few years ago. And the story it told haunted me for the rest of that day and for multiple days afterward. And every once in a while I remember it, you know. I'm not sure if I've heard the song more than once, but this is yeah. So this is Eminem. The song is called Stan. I don't even know where to start with this, but I'm actually pretty excited and a little bit apprehensive to listen to it again. So here we are. Yeah, so recently I talked about doing some hip-hop on the channel, and I really like storytelling in this type of music. And this, to me, is a great example of that. So, this video is 8 minutes long. I don't know if the song is 8 minutes long, or if it's just the video, or what. I have no idea if this will get blocked. It might. Who knows? I'm going to try to pause it like 2 times and see if that does it. I don't know. But thank you very much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, my name is Daniel, and here we react to music, and I try to dissect or analyze the music and the lyrics and figure out what it means to me personally. Here we go. Again, I'm a touch apprehensive about this. Yeah. Also, this song is explicit, just so you know. There was a censored version. I made sure not to choose that. You know, we're listening to the whole song uncensored, without radio edits or anything. And, yeah, this video might end up being a touch long. I don't know. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Okay. I take it he's trying to bleach his hair, right?
Stanley! Open the door. I gotta go. Stanley, open the door! Let me in! Stanley, open the door. Stanley, open the door. Let me in.
What?
Stanley, what are you doing to yourself?
What the hell? You don't like it?
Stanley!
You like it?
Stanley!
What?
Don't
call me that, okay? Don't call
Don't
me
you
that.
think you're taking this too far? Stanley!
Here.
Stanley!
Here we go. That's Ditto, right? I think so. Yeah. Oh, featuring Ditto. Says it right there. The bass line is so cool in this song. Yeah, this song scares me. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, jeez, man.
Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom. I sent 2 letters back in autumn, you must not have got them. There probably was a problem at the post office or something. Sometimes I scribble addresses too sloppy when I jot them. But anyways, fuck it, what's been up, man? How's your daughter? My girlfriend's pregnant too, I'm about to be a father. If I have a daughter, guess what I'ma call her? I'ma name her Bonnie. I read about your Uncle Ronnie too, I'm sorry. I had a friend kill himself over some bitch who didn't want him. I know you probably hear this every day, but I'm your biggest fan. I even got the underground shit that you did with Scam. I got a room full of your posters and your pictures, man. I like the shit you did with Ruckus too, that shit was bad. Anyways, I hope you get this, man. Hit me back, just a chat. Truly yours, the biggest fan. This is Stan.
Okay, let's recap so far. This is pretty much the epitome of an obsessed fan, right? And it's so interesting to me that now so many pause for 1 second, my mom came down here. All right, where was I? Oh yeah, it's so interesting to me that there are a lot of fan bases now that call themselves stans. And I'm not entirely sure if it's because of this song. I think it is, which is interesting. Eminem has a lot of influence if it is. But, like, that is the epitome of what a bad fan is. Like, the worst possible fan. You know, the obsessed stalker fan who... I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't heard the song. If you're watching a reaction to a song, I'm hoping you've heard it already, but who knows? But yeah, this song gets very dark. And there are a bunch of people who want to call themselves stans of different musicians, different actors, different YouTube creators. You know, there's some big YouTube creators. Like there's a Minecraft guy named Dream, or his fake name is Dream or whatever. And his fans call themselves stans, you know? And that's not a healthy thing. It's just weird to me that there's people who are almost romanticizing this toxic, parasocial, if you will, creator and fan behavior. But anyway, let's keep going. So far, seems pretty straightforward. He likes all of this. He likes all of Eminem's stuff, and he knows a lot about him, like all of his story, and he has all of his posters and his all of his music, and he's trying to look like him. So that's where we are so far. Let's keep going. He also seems abusive to his girlfriend or wife.
Dear Slim, you still ain't called a roll. I hope you have a chance. I ain't mad. I just think it's fucked up you don't answer fans. If you didn't want to talk to me outside the concert, you didn't have to. But you could have signed an autograph for Matthew. That's my little brother, man. He's only 6 years old. We waited in the blistering cold for you for 4 hours and you just said no. That's pretty shitty, man. You're like his fucking idol. He wants to be just like you, man. He likes you more than I do. I ain't that mad, though. I just don't like being lied to. Remember when we met in Denver? You said if I write you would write back. See, I'm just like you in a way. I never knew my father neither. He used to always cheat on my mom and beat her. I can relate to what you're saying in your songs. So when I have a shitty day, I drift away and put them on. Cause I don't really got shit else. So that shit helps when I'm depressed. I even got a tattoo with your name across the chest. Sometimes I even cut myself to see how much it bleeds. It's like adrenaline. The pain is such a sudden rush for me. See, everything you say is real, and I respect you cause you tell it. My girlfriend's jealous cause I talk about you 24/7. But she don't know you like I know you, Slim. No one does. She don't know what it was like for people like us growing up. You gotta call me, man. I'll be the biggest fan you'll ever lose. Sincerely yours, Stan. P.S. We should be together too.
Okay, last time I pause it. So he cuts himself. He feels that because Eminem isn't answering him, but yeah. So let's think about this for a minute. I don't know where Eminem was in his career when he made this song. I don't know if this was off his first or second album or whatever, like studio album. But it's like, who wants to bet he was already getting, you know, tons of fan mail or whatever? Who knows? Messages, you know. It's just, yeah, again, this is a scary song. Let's keep going. Like, it makes me very emotional listening to this song.
Dear mister, I'm too good to call or write my fans. This'll be the last package I ever send your ass. It's been 6 months and still no word. I don't deserve it. I know you got my last 2 letters. I wrote the addresses on them perfect. So this is my cassette I'm sending you. I hope you hear it. I'm in the car right now. I'm doing 90 on the freeway. Hey Slim, I drank a fifth of vodka. You dare me to drive? You know the song by Phil Collins, In the Air of the Night, about that guy who could have saved that other guy from drowning, but didn't? Then Phil saw it all, then at a show he found him? That's kinda how this is. You could have rescued me from drowning, now it's too late. I'm on 1,000 downers now, I'm drowsy. And all I wanted was a lousy letter or a call. I hope you know I ripped all of your pictures off the wall. I love you, Slim. We could have been together. Think about it. You ruined it now. I hope you can't sleep and you dream about it. And when you dream, I hope you can't sleep and you scream about it. I hope your conscience eats at you when you can't breathe without me. See, Slim? Shut up, bitch. I'm trying to talk. Hey, Slim. That's my girlfriend screaming in the trunk. But I didn't slit her throat. I just tied her up. See, I ain't like you. Cause if she suffocates, she'll suffer more. And then she'll die too. Well, gotta go. I'm almost at the bridge now. Oh shit, I forgot. How am I supposed to send this shit out? But I just been busy. You said your girlfriend's pregnant now. How far along is she? Look, I'm really flattered you would call your daughter that. And here's an autograph for your brother. I wrote it on the starter cap. I'm sorry I didn't see you with the show. I must have missed you. Don't think I did that shit intentionally just to diss you. But what's the shit you said about you like to cut your wrist too? I say that shit just clowning, dog. Come on, how fucked up is you? You got some issues, Stan. I think you need some counseling to help your ass from bouncing off the walls when you get down some. And what's the shit about us meant to be together? That type of shit'll make me not want us to meet each other. I really think you and your girlfriend need each other. But maybe you just need to treat her better. I hope you get to read this letter. I just hope it reaches you in time before you hurt yourself. I think that you'll be doing just fine if you relax a little. I'm glad I inspired you with Stan. Why are you so mad? Try to understand that I do want you as a fan. I just don't want you to do some crazy shit. I seen this one shit on the news a couple weeks ago that made me sick. Some dude was drunk and drove his car over a bridge and had his girlfriend in the trunk. And she was pregnant with his kid. And in the car they found a tape, but it didn't say who it was to. Come to think about it, his name was... It was you. Damn.
His picture was in the corner. And that's his brother. Yeah, that song. Okay. Yeah, I mentioned before I like dramatic things. That would be an example of like a melodramatic thing. There it is, right there. See? Why the hell is Stan used as this positive thing when in reality it's the worst thing you can be in a fan base? You know, like, haters are gonna hate, right? But when you call yourself a fan, but you're, yeah. Man. Man. This is the most beautiful Eminem song of all time. His ability to storytell is amazing, and he is incredibly talented. Truly a masterpiece. Hey, kitty. Were you scared of the song, too? This person writes, oh, you're a stan? Name every pregnant girl you've driven into a river. Yeah. It's crazy. All right. Let's take a look at the lyrics. In this song, Eminem corresponds with a crazy fan who becomes increasingly unhinged as the story progresses. This is one of his most well-received singles. Oh, wow, really? I did not know that. Okay. And was listed at number 15 on VH1's Top 100 Hip-Hop Songs of All Time. Really? I wonder what the other 14 were, because... Yeah. All right. Anyway, Eminem intended for this song to be a message to fans who had written him disturbing letters indicating they had taken the Slim Shady LP's violent lyrics too seriously. That's his first one. And that's the one where he's, like, Slim Shady or whatever is supposed to be his alter ego. Like a character or persona that he created who's ridiculously violent, and it's supposed to be darkly comedic, you know? Anyway. Another reason M wrote this was to make the critics who were saying things about him feel stupid. His aim was to disprove those who felt that he lacked talent and relied on shock value only. Oh yeah, he disproved that. Jeez Louise. The song has cemented itself in history, with Stan being entered into the Oxford Dictionary as an informal noun. It is generally considered to be a version of stalker and fan, but Oxford defines the term as an overzealous or obsessive fan of a particular celebrity. In a 2011 Shade 45 appearance, M revealed that there was a verse where Stan got out of the water. He escaped and came to my house to kill me. Then I had to kill him first, but I missed him, and he was in the hospital for 3 weeks. Then he gets pissed off that I don't write him get well cards, so he comes to kill me again. And the last verse, finally, I just blow his head off. Holy cow, that would have been a different song. It works better this way, but I kind of want to hear that now. That's really funny. Anyway, all right. I mean, I guess it's not funny, but that would be an example of the, like, almost the super dark stuff going on within this. That's almost absurd, to the point of it being absurdist comedy. Dark absurdist comedy. Anyway, all right, so the chorus is, my tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. The morning rain clouds up my window, but I can't see it all. Even if I could, it would all be gray, but your picture on my wall reminds me that it's not so bad. It's not so bad at all. This hook samples Ditto's 1999 track Thank You and contains similar themes. Stan's wall of pictures was full of Eminem posters. The song didn't get much attention when it was released, but jumped up the charts after being sampled by Eminem. Ditto was terrified of meeting Eminem because of his legal troubles and subject matter, but described him as lovely. She was scared of meeting him. Wow. That's interesting. All right. Ditto also appears in the music video to play Stan's pregnant girlfriend, whom he murders in the third verse. When Eminem performed this live at the 2001 VMAs, Elton John sang the hook. Really? I want to watch that. That's awesome. Oh, my dad's home. Okay. So yeah, the first verse is... One second. Okay. Here we go. Eminem, Stan. Right at the beginning, we get, it uses a series of documents now, rather than narration to tell a story. The song does. Sorry, I just paused the video for a second because my dad got home. The first 3 verses are letters and a voice recording from Stan to Eminem. The final one is Eminem's reply. Throughout this verse, there is the sound of pencil writing on paper, rain in the background, occasional roll of thunder. It says that in the music video, Stan is played by Devin Sawa of Final Destination fame. And to the shock of everyone, is a dead ringer for Eminem once his hair is bleached. So, am I going to go over every verse? Maybe I will. Let's do it. Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still aren't calling. I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom. So he's giving him every single method to contact him. I sent 2 letters back in autumn. He's been contacting him multiple times already. You must have not have got them. It was probably a problem at the post office or something. He's trying to justify it. And he kind of is in this weird reality where he thinks that if he reaches out to this celebrity, that they're going to respond. That doesn't happen. You know, like, it happens every once in a while, but I'm going to bet that for every 10,000 fan letters some of these people get, they respond to, like, 1. You know? You just don't have time to respond to 10,000 letters, I would assume, you know. Anyway, all right. Sometimes I scribble addresses too sloppy when I jot them, all right? So that's where we are. The fact that Stan addresses Eminem as Slim demonstrates how he cannot differentiate reality from fiction. Slim Shady is a made-up character, but Stan believes that's who Eminem is. Stan is so desperate for a response that he gave him all the info he could. Sadly, the chance of Eminem responding back was slim, no pun intended, as he was a superstar at this time, with presumably thousands of fans sending him emails every day. Letters, not mails, but whatever. All right, in Stan's mind, Eminem can do no wrong, so someone else must be at fault for Eminem not coming back to him. His sloppy handwriting can also be seen as symbolic for how unhinged Stan is. And in the music video, the letter actually does get left behind on the mailroom floor. But anyways, screw it. What's up, man? He's talking to him like he's talking to a friend. How's your daughter? Here's some personal questions. And he's like, my girlfriend's pregnant too. I'm about to be a father. If I have a daughter, guess what I'm going to call her? I'm going to name her Bonnie. Fatherhood is something men feel emotional about, so he uses that to connect with Eminem. He has a daughter named Haley, whom he loves. Eminem has a daughter named Haley, who he loves more than anything, and is the topic of many, many different songs. Since Stan's girlfriend is pregnant, the child will be out of wedlock. This describes Stan's family, personal life, and economic situation. In Eminem's song 97 Bonnie and Clyde, Haley is Bonnie, and M takes his wife out of the picture. Stan's kinship to the song has very disturbing results later on. Naming one's daughter after this kind of song is already hinting towards the crazed mind of Stan. Which song is that? I feel like I've listened to one of Eminem's albums. I don't remember which one it was. It was either the first or the second one. Or maybe it was the Eminem Show. I don't remember. One of those three. So the first one, which is the Slim Shady LP. The second one, which is the Marshall Mathers LP. And then I don't remember where in the discography the Eminem Show is. I don't remember if I've heard this song or not. Let me know. Let me know what other Eminem songs you'd like me to check out. One of the rappers that I already liked before starting, reacting to stuff. And I don't really know much about rap music. And to be honest, I don't really know much about Eminem either. I just know a little. This is probably my favorite. I only heard this song like one time, but this is probably my favorite song by him. All right, anyway, let's continue. I heard about your Uncle Ronnie, too. I'm sorry, I had a friend kill himself over someone who didn't want him. So Stan reveals that his stalker tendencies, he really reveals his stalker tendencies with this line. None of M's musical catalog before this song ever mentioned Ronnie. Ronnie Polkinghorne died in 91, when Eminem and Ronnie were both 19. It was ruled as a suicide with the motive being anger over a recent fight with his girlfriend. He recalls this in his book, The Way I Am. My Uncle Ronnie first turned me on to hip-hop when I was 11. We were about the same age and we grew up as kids together in Missouri. He even has a Ronnie Rest in Peace tattoo on his left arm. More generally, this line seems to foreshadow Stan's own similarly motivated suicide in the third verse, but also, yes, shows stalker tendencies with that. I know you probably hear this every day, but I'm your biggest fan. I've even got the underground stuff that you did with Scam, all right? He collaborated. Okay. So he collaborated with some people before he rose to fame. For Stan to know about either of these obscure tracks shows his obsession. I know you probably hear this every day as an abrupt change in subject. Stan has been expressing his condolences about Ronnie's death. It is a little tactless on Stan's part. It is also psychologically revealing. He has just been alluding to a friend who killed himself out of unrequited love. He then proceeds in the next line to confess his admiration for Slim. I've got a room full of your posters and your pictures. Ties in with Ditto's picture on the wall line. I like the stuff you did with Raucous, too. That stuff was fat, I guess. Okay. Raucous Records was a label on which M released Any Man in 1999. Fat is street slang for cooler? Excellent. Okay. Anyways, I hope you get this, man. Hit me back just to chat. Truly yours, your biggest fan. This is Stan. The end of this verse has a very casual tone. It shows how much Eminem means to Stan, but doesn't seem as if he's overly worried that he might respond. As a result of this song, Stan would enter the vocabulary to mean an overzealous fan. While it may be coincidental, some have speculated that Stan is chosen as putting together stalker and fan, although the music video reveals his full name is Stanley Mitchell, as indicated by his gravestone. Then we get the chorus again, then we come to the second verse. The first verse, he's simply describing how similar Eminem and him are. In the second verse, he actually starts getting mad at his idol. he brings up a couple of episodes in which Eminem disappointed him and makes it clear that he's not feeling okay. He feels like he's entitled to a response from this person. That's what, yeah. Jeez Louise. He so feels entitled that he's trying to like psychologically manipulate our main character by saying, I'm going to kill myself if you don't talk to me again, you know, if you don't call me. So he says, Dear Slim, you still haven't called or wrote. I hope you have a chance. I'm not mad. You know, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I just think it's screwed up that you don't answer your fans. If you don't want to talk to me outside your concert, you don't have to. But you could have signed an autograph for Matthew. That's my little brother. He's only 6 years old. We waited in the blistering cold for you for 4 hours, and you just said no. It's pretty mean, man. You're like his freaking idol. He wants to be just like you, man. He likes you more than I do. So they go to, Stan shows his first signs of contempt here. He references an incident where he claims that Eminem came out and said no to an autograph, though it is more likely that he just didn't have time to respond, which kind of shows that Stan is like seeing things differently than they actually are, or remembering things to fit his narrative that he's come up with. The fact that he and his brother spent 4 extra hours in the cold just for the possibility of an autograph reaffirms the obsession. In the music video, Eminem didn't even see Stan and is blinded by paparazzi and quickly hurried away. 13 years later, Matthew would list this particular act amongst the motives for his revenge in Bad Guy. Huh, okay. Stan saying he's only 6 years old might also be a nod to the fact that children probably shouldn't listen to Eminem's music or go to his concerts given the lyrics. Yeah? You think? All right. At this point, he's almost completely lost his mind and revealed that he actually loves Slim, or M, or whatever you call Eminem. He also reveals that his little brother named Matthew was sad because he didn't get an autograph, which made him all the more mad and obsessed. There's a bit of an ironic twist here. When Stan says you're like his idol, he wants to be just like you, he likes you more than I do. When in reality, his little brother is not the one who made it his #1 goal in life to get a letter from a big star. And he's not the one with pictures of Eminem on a billboard on his basement wall in the video. And he's not the one who's mistreating his girlfriend. Yeah, in the music video too, wasn't Matthew, the little boy was like kind of like this, while Stan was the one who was like super nuts. So he doesn't even realize how bad this is, really. And he's like, again, he says, I'm not mad. I just don't like being lied to. Remember when we met in Denver? So he recorded Stan in '99. It was part of Warped Tour in the summer of that year, which included a July concert in Denver. Stan was a metaphor for Marshall's obsessed fans. In the last part of this interview, Eminem's grandma talks about hearing that a gay fan of Slim tried hugging and kissing him after begging Shady to let him go backstage at a Denver concert. When Eminem performs this song in concert, instead of mentioning Denver, he'll mention the name of the city he's performing in. Oh, that's kind of interesting. You said if I'd write you, you would write back. See, I'm just like you in a way. I never knew my father either. So, Eminem's father left the family before his son's 2nd birthday and never again came into contact with them. Stan has a similar story, but what he doesn't understand is that there are a lot of guys who have never met their father, not just him and Eminem. Years later, Eminem continually takes jabs at his father, evident in Rhyme or Reason, Cleaning Out My Closet, and Leaving Heaven. He always used to cheat on my mom and beat her. I can relate to what you're saying in your songs because when I have a bad day, I drift away and put them on because I don't really got anything else. So that helps when I'm depressed, you know? It's not only that Stan appreciates the musical content of Eminem's music, it touches him on an emotional and obviously very personal level. When he has nowhere else to go, he just puts on an Eminem record. In his mind, he can't imagine anyone else doing this, even though Eminem's music touches a lot of people in America, you know, just lots of different people. Songs are no longer enough for Stan. He needs physical contact. He's overplayed the music, and it's only built in him a desire for an even bigger high. When Stan says, I drift away and put them on, he says, drift away and put him on. The word M could be a play on words for Eminem. Okay. All right. So he says, I got a tattoo with your name across my chest. To get the name of a man imprinted permanently on your chest shows great obsession. Yes. Especially when it's the name of the alter ego and not even the real person, you know? The chest is also a highly symbolic place for the tattoo related to emotions and love. See the "we should be together too" ambiguous final line of this verse. In the music video, the name on Stan's chest is Slim Shady, as if Stan can't even distinguish that Slim Shady is just a character. And then he says, "Sometimes I cut myself to see how much it bleeds. It's like adrenaline. The pain is such a sudden rush for me. Everything you say is real, and I respect you because you tell it. My girlfriend's jealous because I talk about you 24/7. But she doesn't know you like I know you, Slim. Nobody does. She doesn't know what it was like for people like us growing up. You gotta call me, man. I'll be the biggest fan you'll ever lose. Sincerely yours, Stan. P.S. We should be together too." So he says he cuts himself because Eminem sometimes says he enjoys hurting himself in songs, and Stan wants to be like Eminem. He says this to connect with Eminem and get him to respond to him. When Eminem says that, though, he's saying it as a character that's way over the top and melodramatic and just a psychopath. It's interesting. It is interesting. Stan is testing his body's limits and checking out whether he is truly alive or not. How much it bleeds, already living near death. His complacency and physical pain now joins his complacency and grief, the two already reaching their peak in the suicide he seems to be already training for. Later in the song, Eminem says he doesn't really cut himself, it's just something his fiction or alter ego, Slim Shady, says in his songs. Though Eminem does include some genuine, heartfelt insight into his life on his hit Slim Shady LP, on tracks such as If I Had and Rock Bottom, the majority of the songs are from the point of view of a character called Slim Shady. Since the album was meant to establish him as a character, Stan fails to realize this since M himself admitted it, despite M himself admitting it right at the beginning of the album in the public service announcement skit. And again at the end of the album on Still Don't Give a F. Yeah. The fact that he still seems real to Stan may show even further how broken his mental state is, that he believes the world is as messed up as Slim Shady portrays it, as that's all he's seen from his rough upbringing. The sad fact is some people escape from that living hell and some aren't so lucky. Stan isn't so lucky. Then the line, "P.S. We should be together too." If Stan's... Oh. Yeah, that also happened. And has gotten him in trouble a couple of times, and he later apologized for it. But yeah, it is pretty screwed up that he did this. I think that him trying to collaborate with Elton John was like him trying to make up for it, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, Eminem had multiple homophobic songs when he first started. So anyway, if Stan was such a big Eminem fan, you'd think he would have noticed Slim Shady's reoccurring homophobic lyrics. However, this does come across as a mixed message. Stan has a high degree of adoration or admiration for Eminem that reaches a feeling close to love, despite this previously mentioned phobia, suggesting that Stan doesn't really read too much into lyrics or notice the irony behind them. To the listener, who feels this paradox and doesn't believe that Stan truly loves M, it gives way to extrapolation. Though fans who can experience those twisted feelings for their idol are hopefully quite rare, it lets people relate to some similar feelings that they could experience, like the most beautiful girl in high school who was not looking at them, for instance, which maybe explains part of the success of the song. The song's just a really good story, you know? And it's, like I said, very emotionally charged song. Anyway, alright, so then we come to the verse 3. Dear Mr. I'm too good to call or write my fans. Every letter before this one started with Dear Slim, and now he's using Dear Mr. I'm too good to call or write my fans. We know that his obsession has gone overboard, and the tone of this verse is going to be much more intense right from the first line. Of course, he ignores the fact that Eminem probably gets millions of letters a day. This will be the last package I ever send your ass. It's been 6 months, still no word. I don't deserve it. I know you got my last 2 letters. I wrote the addresses on them. Perfect. So this is the cassette I'm sending you. I hope you hear it. I'm in the car right now doing 90 on the freeway. I drank a 5th of vodka. Do you dare me to drive? So he's driving drunk. You know that song by Phil Collins, In the Air of the Night, about that guy who could have saved that other guy from drowning, but he didn't? Then Phil saw it. Then at the show, he found him. That's kind of how this is. You could have rescued me from drowning. Now it's too late. I'm on 1,000 downers now. I'm drowsy. And all I wanted was a lousy letter or a call. I hope you know I ripped all your pictures off the wall. I loved you, Slim. We could have been together. Think about it. And this part, every time, like, almost, yeah. It happened again. It makes me feel like I'm gonna cry. You ruined it now. I hope you can't sleep and you dream about it. And when you dream, I hope you can't sleep and you scream about it. I hope your conscience eats at you and you can't breathe without me. And then he turns around and he's like, oh, my girlfriend's in the trunk, too. And we're going off a bridge. It's so messed up. Oh, my goodness. All right. A cassette tape is media format for audio recording and playback. All right. Audio messages have proven to be more informative than written messages, as voice tones cannot be heard properly in letters. Stan records this message to Eminem on cassette to prove that he meant more than the words he wrote. In this message, however, he's so drunk and in such a reckless mental state that he doesn't even realize that he won't be able to send it to Eminem until seconds before reaching the bridge. Even in this time of disorder and intoxication, he finds time to reference a line from My Name Is to let Eminem know that he's insane enough to actually be driving drunk. I think in My Name Is, he says this, am I coming or going? I can barely decide. I just drank a fifth of vodka. Dare me to drive? It is used here in a mocking, slurred tone, not admiring. He's literally right in the midst of doing just that. So in this context, it's now too late for Slim to decide whether or not Stan should drive after he drank that fifth of vodka. All right? These lines are a reference to the urban legends that have falsely arisen around the Phil Collins song In the Air Tonight. Most of these legends... In the air of the night. That's not... Oh, okay. Most of these legends have variation on Phil witnessing a drowning. However, like most urban legends, this has no basis, and Collins has denied all such stories. I need to react to that song at some point. I don't remember if I've heard it or not, but I did not know any of that about it, so it'd be cool to look at the context behind that. We're almost 40 minutes in. Jeez. All right. It's kind of how... Well, this song is a very powerful song. That's kind of how this is. You could have rescued me from drowning. Whether or not the song was about drowning, this is still a good metaphor for the situation. Eminem is not responding to Stan, left him in misery for 6 months that he waited for a response. To him, it was like slowly dying. This takes on a different meaning as the story progresses. And he's on 1,000 downers. You ruined it. All that. These are two very confusing lines to the point that Eminem changed the first one to I hope you go to sleep and you dream about it for the Elton John version. The two lines seem to contradict each other, and that's supposed to show how insane and drunk Stan's become. Really, though, it does make sense if you think about it a little and take the third line into account. Stan hopes that Eminem fantasizes so much about the life he could have had with Stan that Eminem can't sleep. These lines may also be referencing one of Eminem's early songs, Guilty Conscience, about a man's conscience keeping him from doing bad things, except by the end of the song, the man defeats his conscience instead of it eating at him. The contradictions in the can't sleep and you dream about it is classic M technique of using contradictions to emphasize insanity. He did the same thing on Kill You. Shut up, give me your hands and feet. I said shut up when I'm talking to you. You hear me? Answer me. Yeah. Man. All right. So then he talks to the girlfriend. As Stan to the end, he even copies Eminem in his murderous rages. The girlfriend in the trunk scenario from Eminem's father-daughter bonding song in 97, Bonnie and Clyde. Stan has changed. In the previous verses, he compares himself to Eminem. But here he says, I'm not like you. And now we know he has grown apart from Slim Shady and is truly pissed off. Although Stan, being a true obsessive, knows that in the song the woman was already dead when M dumped her in the lake, he's trying to do him one better and have his girlfriend suffocate after being dumped into the water. Also, many first-time listeners that haven't seen the music video are surprised by this, as they don't seem to realize that Stan's girlfriend is with him alive in the trunk until they hear her screaming in the back of the car, which continues until the car hits the water. Indeed, someone is more insane than Slim Shady. Well, gotta go, almost at the bridge now. The place of the bridge is highly symbolic. The bridge is the passage between life and death, and a passage that you can choose to cross or not, which relates to suicide. Note that the choice that this bridge Note that the choice that this bridge supposes is not to be made anymore. Stan already has to commit suicide. His preparations bind him. Well, the word well maybe expresses a bit of regret, but it is already too late anyway. Sorry about my weird stuttering just now. I've been reading too many of these. All right. Stan, not being the brightest bulb, neglects to realize that it's difficult to mail a cassette from the inside of a car at the bottom of the river. Of course, immediately after this line, we hear the car hit the side of the bridge, go into the water, and he obviously drowns, along with his girlfriend and unborn child. There have been numerous indications that this was going to happen throughout the song, since everyone knew that this obsession with Eminem couldn't end well. All this culminates in the car crash. Finally, we have Eminem's line. Well, actually, it's all Eminem, obviously, singing, but in this part, his voice changes a little bit too here. And he says, I meant to write you sooner. I've been busy. He said, your girlfriend's pregnant now? How far along is she? You know, he took the time. That's what makes the song haunting, almost, is that he did respond to him eventually. He's like, look, I'm really flattered that you would call your daughter that. And here's an autograph for your brother. I wrote it on a starter cap. So, starter caps were typically designed to show allegiance to a particular professional or college sports team and featured the team's logo. All right? I'm sorry I didn't see you at the show. I must have missed you. Don't think that I did that intentionally just to diss you. But what's this stuff that you said about you liking to cut your wrists too? I say that just joking around, man. How screwed up are you? He responds to Stan's comment about cutting himself, allowing him to realize just how much physical and mental harm these types of lyrics can cause. Which is interesting that it's interesting that he realizes that. M has rapped about slitting wrists in many of his raps. He even has "slit me" tattooed on his wrist. However, Eminem says he jokes around in these situations and seems to be appalled at Stan's will to actually engage in them. This moment of reality is seen later in the verse when M finds out Stan was the one who kidnapped and killed his pregnant girlfriend. You've got issues, Stan. I think you need some counseling to help your ass from bouncing off the walls when you get down. And what's this stuff about us being meant to be together? You say that's going to make me not want us to meet each other. So Stan showed throughout his letters that he didn't deal well with stress or tough situations, which was exemplified by cutting his wrists. Down refers to Stan's state of depression, which is why he suggests counseling. And also may be an ironic echo of the 1,000 downers which Stan consumes prior to his suicide/homicide. M tells Stan that he wouldn't even want to meet Stan since it seems like he may already be too obsessed. Ironically, given these kinds of sentiments, M would famously perform the song with Elton John at the Grammys as a way of combating allegations of homophobia. I was right. Cool. I think you and your girlfriend need each other. Or maybe you just need to treat her better. And it's so sad because, I hope you get this letter. I hope it reaches you in time. He could have helped him, and that's what makes it sad. Before you hurt yourself, I think that you'll be doing just fine if you relax a little. I'm glad I inspire you, but why are you so mad? Try to understand that I do want you as a fan. I just don't want you to do some crazy shit. I saw this one thing go down on the news a couple of weeks ago that made me sick. So this has happened weeks ago. That's what makes it even worse, it still took another month or so before he finally did respond. Some dude was drunk and drove his car over a bridge, and he had his girlfriend in the trunk, and she was pregnant with his kid. At this point, M is only saying this as a comparison to what Stan wants to end up like. He doesn't know it was actually Stan driving the car. This employment of dramatic irony is another example of Eminem's lyrical genius and the knowledge of literary compositional techniques. Interestingly, Eminem makes a point to say a couple weeks ago, which shows just how long Stan has been dead before Eminem finally replies. This is also an important line because it lets us know that Marshall Mathers is sickened by spousal abuse, despite what Slim Shady or Eminem or whatever says in his raps. In the car, they found a tape, didn't say who it was to. Come to think about it, his name was It Was You. And then at the end, he's just like, damn. In a haunting ending, Eminem realizes what Stan has done, only when it is too late to help. As the song climaxes, a final lightning bolt goes off, thunder is heard, and during this final crash, the lightning lights up the music video, and you can see Stan in the window smiling after he sees that Eminem is finally writing the letter that he wanted for so long. The video cleverly materializes Stan's after-death haunting allegations in the card tape. I hope you can't sleep and you dream about it, and when you dream, I hope you can't sleep and you scream about it. This is an incredibly powerful song. That really shows me just how much emotional impact a song can have. It's incredible. All right. Like, lyrically, it's incredible. The story it's telling is super, super dark, obviously. But, man. All right. Thank you for joining me. If you're still here after 45 minutes, I mean, I appreciate it. If you're still here after 45 minutes, why? And I'll see you soon. Consider subscribing. Deathstroke9, out. Let me know what other Slim Shady songs you'd like me to check out. We are Legion, my friends.